Hey guys, welcome back. Well, another very cold morning. It's like 5 degrees. I got the tractor warming up. I had that sitting outside all night. Almost done stacking all this here, a couple there. I ended up getting, I only got four boiler totes done from cutting next door. I'll probably film a little bit of it today, so that's kind of the sizes we've been making on them. Just, just small enough where I could pick them up and chuck them in there with somewhat ease. This one here is the kiln dried stuff, as you can tell. But so I loaded the boiler last night, probably around 8 o'clock ish. I put in, I don't even know. So this tote was, I want to say 3/4 full. I didn't fill this one all the way, so that you can kind of tell how much I threw in there. So a good amount. And I haven't touched it this morning yet. I just looked in there, so I know there's still wood in there, but I'll show you. And it's roughly, what time is it now? It's 9:30, so 14 and a half hours or so. So let's take a look. It just turned on to a burn cycle, which is fine. Let's see how much we got in there. It's going to be smoky, so I don't know if you're going to even see anything. Maybe, yep. So as you can tell, if you can see, there's still a good amount of good wood in there. So I'm not even going to chuck anything in. I kind of want that to burn down a little, just a little, probably another hour or two. And then I'll chuck in a bunch of this non-fresh, fresh cut wood. Which is fine because I have to swap the kiln out with new wood, move this wood next door to the drying yard, boiler totes over here. So in about an hour, give or take, I'll come back, I'll show you how much I chuck in. And then after all that, I go back next door and finally cut up the remaining, what I had to get that area clean, moved, which should honestly be probably another 4 or 5 totes. It's just a lot of cutting and it's cold. I think the sun's gonna stay out today, which is nice, which will help. So yeah, I'll follow back up in roughly an hour or so, show you how much wood I put in there, and by that time after that, should be next door cutting for a few hours. So yeah, here we go. All right, it's been about an hour and a half. Got the kiln switched over finally. I know I seen the boiler, I think, do 2 burn cycles. She actually got up to about 187. I have it set to 180. What do I have it set at? Let's see. 181. She usually goes up to about 183. But since I really didn't have any load on it because the kiln was off, it went up to, I think, 187, which is fine. I got the parameters where if it goes to 190, it lets me know, but clearly nothing was drawing on it at the time to kind of bring it down. I still have that little hole open in the back to let air go in to make sure, there's a little bit of a draft. But let's crack this. I'm sure there's still good wood in here, but I'm gonna put some of this. I mean, this stuff here I cut yesterday. As you can tell, you can see all the sawdust. So this wood is wet, frozen, and honestly, this will probably get, I don't know, it's hard to say. This will probably get us till tonight, because I just turned the kiln back on, turned that garage back on, which is, it's like 10 degrees out. There's 4 production totes, 1 oak tote, 2 boiler totes, and the boiler wood is frozen, and so was the oak. Oak probably not so much, just because it wasn't as wet. It's still wet, but the boiler wood is frozen. It's wet, so it'll take a little bit to get up to temp. So that'll put not a strain, but it'll put a load on the boiler. So she's gonna work a little bit. Now putting this stuff in there, yeah, she's gonna run a little bit longer. But I tell you what, locust is phenomenal. It burns hot. It's dense wood. It takes a lot longer to dry, of course, but oak and locust I prefer. I mean, I do like ash. Ash is predictable. I've been burning that for years. But the locust in the boiler, man, it gets hot. Like just like oak in the house, I love burning oak. We may continue to do that just because it lasts long. It's hot. I mean, I think we're probably going to go through just a little less than a face cord a week. Now, I don't know. I don't consider that a lot. That thing goes 24/7, so I think we'll only do that if I have the kiln running, just to kind of preserve a little bit of boiler wood, but because that pretty much heats the whole house. I mean, it's a little bit cooler upstairs, which we prefer. Okay, so like I said, it's been about an hour and a half, maybe a little, almost approaching 2, and nothing's really changed. Now, yes, I should push that one over there, but I really can't do that. I'm not going to pick it up. So let me get you guys set up over here if I can. Probably not going to be the best view, but and then I'll bring you closer once I load them. And these are heavy. And I still try to put them in somewhat strategically so it gets a good burn. Oh yeah. Alright, let me show you that real quick. So that should honestly get us through till tonight when I gotta load it for the overnight burn, hopefully. Like I said, all that's super wet, so we'll see what happens there. But so like here's some scraps from the last processing. Same with this. Probably save some of this. So like if she ever gets like super low, toss all this in and put a bunch of wood on top of that and you're good to go. At least that's the plan. So, man, it's cold out. But yeah, that should, I mean, yeah, it's not gonna burn as efficient with that in there, but there's enough on the bottom that it should, within a cycle or two, bake all that moisture out and be good to go. Not too worried about it. Which you'll probably end up going to a burn cycle pretty quick. So what was it at, 183 when we checked on it? Yeah, that's already at 179. I mean, that's within, what, 4 or 5 minutes? She'll turn on here shortly. Because I have an 8-degree differential. So whatever that is, 173 or something like that, 74. Okay, I gotta get my fuel, bar oil, big saw, which I may put a little razor sharp on the edge of that real quick. Got some big rounds to cut up, and I don't want to be outside any longer than I have to. So grab some stuff, and then I'll check back when we get over there. Okay, finally over here. So yeah, bunch of locust rounds. That's probably the biggest one there, but we're going to be using the 881 3-foot bar on her. I haven't measured anything, but I'll measure the diameter and then the length of this. This is probably the only one I show me cutting because I got to cut all the rest of the stuff up and that there, bunch of knots and crotches and stuff. So I'm going to use my new tape measure here, which is the Inkerma. It's the Ace tape. It's got a laser on it, and it'll obviously measure out to 16 feet as far as the actual tape measure part. And as you can tell, 130 feet with a laser. So just to kind of give you an idea of diameter of this. So 26 inches, so just over 2 feet. That's probably the widest point there, give or take. The nice thing with this tape measure, you don't have to like push the button to hold it, it'll hold it on its own. So let's get the length. Just over 51 inches. So just over 4 feet. And then to kind of show you the laser feature, I put this little cutoff there on the end. Let's see here. Should just have to hit the button. And it measures it from the back of the tape measure. So let's get the laser up on there. Okay. 62 3/8 from back here to the board. So let's see. Let's see if that's what it is. I'm curious because I'll use this the laser feature. So it was, where was it? Gotta get this properly here. Yeah, almost exactly. Perfect. Well, that's cool. So I'll definitely use this. I mean, I have a lot of tape measures, but my kids like to emulate what I do. And not to say they break all of them, but they'll crinkle up, you know, this part right here, and then it's kind of hard to use. So I've been kind of hiding this one from them, but I'll have a couple links in the description for this tape measure here. But I like it. I mean, because any projects, like even the solar panels over there, when I was measuring certain things, I was using this one, and it's not that big. It's nice. Yeah, it's only 16 feet, but I think that's for the most part ideal. So all right, I'm gonna get the saw fired up, and I'll probably put the camera somewhere over here showing how I cut this big round up to get me pieces like this. Hopefully she don't move, because she's only being held up by this. Because if she rolls, she's going to be going a ways. But I think, yeah, we should be okay. So I did put a little edge on there, so hopefully it's pretty sharp. I don't want to spend too much time out here, but I got to cut all this stuff up. And I'm just going to cut off. I may actually just cut that whole thing up. It was on the processor, but it's so, as you could tell, it's so crooked and knotty that it just wasn't, and it's a big log, so either that or I'll cut off both crooked ends and just leave the middle. We'll see. But there's not too much here. Some of this stuff I gotta pick up. I already picked up that from yesterday. But I'll probably have at least another 3, probably another 4 totes worth, which is good. That'll give us a couple weeks worth of wood here. So let me get this big girl fired up here, and then we'll get to cutting. Okay. Now obviously I still got to finish cutting that, but there you go. It wasn't too bad. Tell you what, that saw's heavy. But perfect size pieces to manage. Pick up. I may have to cut a little bit more there. I don't know. I didn't cut all the way through there, but either way. Now I'll just do the same thing. Finish the cuts that it's kind of started. And there you go. Now I got all those pieces. You could just tell how wet that is inside. But either way, that's how I manage all the big pieces. I gotta be able to do the same on this big guy here. I'll just cut that edge off. Do the same thing a couple down the middle. Go on the side, cut it in half. Perfect, the same thing here. Now obviously, yes, I could leave this one for sure, as long as it is cut it up. But I'm not picking up those heavy pieces into the boiler. It just doesn't make any sense. So, but I tell you what though, she pulls and pulls and pulls, but she also drinks a lot of fuel. A lot of fuel. Between yesterday and today, just cutting this up, I'm going to go through 2 gallons. So that's okay though. I mean, it's not too much money. It's just time and a lot of muscle effort to hold her up and make sure she don't kick on you, you know, because that could be pretty deadly. So, but yeah, that's probably all I'm going to show you guys today. I'm going to finish ripping all these up, get everything cut, that way I can just load and get them all moved. The sawdust here, some of the bigger, you know, stringy stuff we planted. I want to say we planted, I don't know, almost 20 trees about a week ago. And we're going to put them around the trees. So when it stops being so cold and it rains and whatnot, it'll retain some of the moisture. So, because we probably plant like 20, 30, 40 trees every year. Trying to continue the growth here, make it look nice. But yeah, I'll have a link down in the description for that tape measure. Check them out. I've been using it for a couple weeks now. I like it. The lasers seem to be spot on. I never had one that does that, so I think it's pretty cool. So check them out. Obviously, I'm still using my Procom headset. My brother's operating the skid loader. We can communicate while we're processing and whatnot, so it's actually really nice. So they're not cheap, but I do like them. The range is pretty good. I mean, from here down there is probably a half mile, give or take, with elevation change, and we can still talk to one another, which is pretty cool. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go back to processing some firewood, because I'll have all this ideally cleaned up and get back at it here. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. But guys, as always, keep burning.